interactions, and then I have been practicing more. I don't know. I completed 24 courses and then found very boring and much. It's everything goes. I don't know. It's the same. There's no knowledge creation. Just like you are going to the school again. You just get the information. So I found this much more. I don't know, active, where you participate and share the knowledge. So yeah, I'm looking forward for the particular project on pedagogy MOOC.
Excellent, and we have Federico Monaco in Italia.
Hello. Yeah.
Hi, Federico. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear everybody.
Good. Hi.
Hello, Julie.
Let me just stop you for a second. If you have earbuds or headphones, it's really helpful because we're getting so many people on that we're getting a lot of feedback from the speakers.
I have.
Great. Federico, you want to tell Howard Reingold is here. He's the instigator and inspirer of this project, and I think he's liking the fact that we have this global cast of characters.
Yes, I think it's the moment for the great challenge to get to something concrete, because what I see now in the small community today, there are experts, people who have been engaged in pedagogy, and Howard as well, but also, for instance, Julia and me, and we are e-learning experts, so we are learning from the side of working daily, explaining people how to learn by web, and following also what the pedagogy say, that it's not possible to learn alone. You always learn by who is side to you and who you meet on the web. So I think this is a wonderful situation. I'm a sociologist and I'm a learning expert, and I work for the education sector in a hospital in Parma, in Italy, and there I'm developing as a Moodle site. I'm developing there as much as possible horizontal approaches for professionals and practitioners and patients to discuss about diseases, illness, to come together and learn together. And I think it's quite challenging to put on the same table patients, citizens, on the other side experts or professionals in the health reality.
And by horizontal, do you mean without a sort of figurehead or teacher or a hierarchical structure of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it from their relation, from the fact that we meet, from the meeting that we?
Yeah.
And now finally, this is possible because I mean, we've been learning being inside communities for centuries, for thousands of years. So we're turning back to the, let's say, to the good stuff, the learning community.
Well, my the tagline on my website is collaboration is the new competition. Collaboration is a factor in pedagogy. We also have Lisa Snow McDonald. Are you?
I'm here.
Yep. Do you want to tell us a little, Howard? And I don't know if you've met Howard before, but
yeah, I met Howard briefly at UCI in Irvine at a conference, and that's how I found out about your group.
Oh, cool.
So my background's media psychology, and my interest is largely in how pedagogy can apply to business, and in creating more efficient and more positive workplace environments for employees, and kind of overthrowing some of the more traditional ideas about management, providing people another model.
Great. And Lisa's contributing some work to the new edition of the Peeragogy Handbook.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so that'll be good. And we have Joe Corneli, who's hiding behind a globe.
Hi. All right, let me screen share something with you, which is, let's see if I can find it. Whoops, there. So we just wrote this thing with Paola for Wikimania 2015 in Mexico City. And I could screen share that if I could find it, but I wanted to show this thing, which I just found out about.
I'll find it for you.
Okay, yeah. So this thing is open dialogue, and one of the things I was thinking is we could do a little bit of a research project on like peeragogy elsewhere. So this is like kind of like a peeragogy kind of approach in the mental health sector, and it sounds like it would have some relationship with what Federico was saying. So I don't know if you guys can read this, but the website is opendialogueapproach.co.uk, and that's just one example. I found out about it because they had actually made a play about this. Speaking of the art thing, so there's a play about this approach, which I just went to go see. So that was fun. Oops. But aside from that, today I just finished 3 papers and sent them off. One was about peeragogy with computers, and the other 2 I don't even really remember. So I've been busy, and yeah, I've been supposed to be doing this Peeragogy Handbook new edition. So I'm probably going to take some time off this week and do that, among other things I need to catch up with. So that's me.
And let's see, Dorothea. Are you speaking today?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
And see me? Hello, so my interest is very broad, and every time in every meeting recently I realized that my focus is on something different. Well, not really different because it's all related. So my background is I was doing research in multidisciplinary things. So pedagogy as open science, open research. But now I'm practicing co-living, co-working, collaboration of all kinds. But now I'm realizing that also pedagogy is about being more authentic and creating a place of hope for people who are looking for something different than content and the usual things, but maybe want to be more human to each other and to themselves also. So I'm trying to find many applications of pedagogy into improving lives in any way that we can think of. Yeah, so I guess that's my introduction for today.
Okay. Yeah, Howard, did you have a question for Federico?
Well, I was just interested in that site, the open source cure for cancer site. Is that? Can you describe that?
Yeah, is a friend of mine, Salvatore Iaconesi, and has been a hacker and is an engineer, an information technology engineer. And in 2012, he was found to have a brain cancer. So he came back home, and after 5 minutes, he have turned the proprietary clinical data to an open format, published on a website. This the open source cure for cancer, and he was asking for help to anybody in the world but not only to practitioners or surgeons, but on poets or whoever. And as you can see from the website, this is the result. I'm working a lot on this side in the hospital, explaining that the times are changing. Just because we can create, we have networks, but we need to create networking among different networks. So the big job is now is to increase the contact between different networks, between different realities, and this is one of the is a clear example of this.
Is this the correct site, Federico?
Yeah, can you open it?
Is that, yeah, okay.
That's
the correct site?
Yeah, it opens.
Art, this just says art is open source.
Yes, he's working on this a lot. Now he's working on the idea of ubiquitous commons on health side, but also about data.
Federico, can we communicate about this offline?
Sure.
I'm a cancer survivor, and I'm giving a keynote speech to the Medicine X conference at Stanford. Who would like to hear about things like this? So if you could email me, we could set up some communications.
Sure. Okay.
I'm Howard@Rheingold.com. I'll put it in the chat. I don't want to dominate the conversation here, but
I think this is an amazing example of peeragogy in action, which is kind of the theme of our talk today, or it's if we do have a theme. But yeah, this is incredible. I just wanted to introduce myself, and I'm Charlotte Pierce, and I got involved in the Peeragogy project through one of Howard's online courses called Think No Tools. Are you still doing those, Howard?
I am doing my Introduction to Cooperation Theory course this spring. And I'm thinking of, I'm working on creating a course on network literacy.
Mm-hmm.
Just a second, I got to go.
So I'll
be right with you.
Okay. I'm an independent publisher in the Boston, Massachusetts area in the United States, and I've got a couple of endeavors. We have a trade association called the Independent Publishers of New England, and I'm trying to work peeragogy into that organization because it's fairly dysfunctional, and it comprises of just about 150 plus people who are in varying stages of technological expertise, and not all of whom really love collaborating at all, so, or cooperating, or so I'm up against the concept of, how do we introduce peeragogy to people like that? That's one of them, and the other is a local music series that's run from out of our church, Coffee House concert series. We're entering our third season, and we're trying to make it more viable, make it more have more depth in the people participating, and more sort of we're all in this together sort of feeling, so that one person or a few people don't burn out. So that's what I was telling you, Julia, earlier. Is I'm really more interested in right now in the practical aspects of peeragogy and putting it into action. And I think that Federico's project is a really good example of that. Actually, sort of going farther than I've gone with my pilot project.
So what about a chapter or an article on peer learning in medicine, peer learning among patients?
Yeah, actually, I'm not. I'm working on this because now it is not one of my main interests in research, but I've been working on this side in the last 2 years. So it's a good idea, and if somebody would like to contribute, and I can put down some literature review and some ideas for just to start, and so it would be good to have more people involved in writing the paper, and I think it would be also a good start, it's a concrete start if we want to create a curriculum for pedagogy learning as methods and as subject as well.
Okay, I guess that'll go on the articles we would like to get done list.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's time to start thinking about version 4. I know that the version 3 has been sort of hanging by a thread here because I've been a little bit preoccupied with other things on the technical typesetting. In fact, that's one of the things that I want to solve for the for this year, is to kind of figure out how to get around some of those bottlenecks. I was thinking when I was walking around today to go get my coffee, I was thinking that we've got to write up the bottleneck anti-pattern, because it's like every time we have some issues, who knows what it is. Maybe it's only one person knows how to start the meeting. Maybe it's only one person knows how to maintain the website. Maybe it's only one person knows how to do the technical typesetting stuff.
Yeah, that happens with our projects too, with the publishing group and the concert series. It's like, and it's like the old thing where it's easier and faster to do it yourself, except it isn't.
Well, not really. It's not that difficult, really.
What is not that difficult?
I mean, to work with peer-to-peer collaboration. I have been working on online teaching since the early 90s, the last century. I'm 56 years old, and I was always with when even the peer-to-peer collaboration was not. We were not talking about this. I thought at that years that the peer collaboration was really important. So all my courses since then, I try and find tools to make my students collaborate from each other. Then when internet appeared, I was thinking, well, what can I do with this? How can this help me on my teaching? And because at that time I was teaching to let's say different companies about marketing, about management, and all these kind of courses, client quality and communication and all those things. So I began to use, even when in my early courses, when internet, when we were at Web 1.0. I try to, just with almost no tools, to make this collaboration and make that my students do works together and engage them in this kind of courses. When we pass to Web 2.0, there was beginning to with we did begin to have a lot of tools. So I was always, but always trying to find new ways to make peer collaboration and to engage my student into the course. And I can say that it was always very, I mean, it works. And I've been working with the first e-learning platforms in 2001 in some European project like Project J with a new platform. And since then, I'm studying platform, and I have been using Moodle since it appeared. Since it's a very primary version, and using, including on Moodle, all the tools that I think that could be nice and helpful for my students. It all depend on what kind of course I'm teaching.
Although you're saying it's easy, not that hard anyway, the thing is it seems like it's easy and very natural and interesting for you. But I think it's true what Charlotte is saying as well, is that there's a bunch of people out there for whom all of the words you just said, Web 2.0, Moodle, would be very scary. E-learning, they'd say, "Oh, I don't know what that is. I don't know what a computer is," and stuff like that. So it's interesting to try to connect with those people. And of course, the peer-to-peer collaboration, as Federico was saying, you don't even really need a computer. You can also do it with your neighbors at a coffee house, at your own house, whatever.
Yeah.
That was the way at the beginning. I mean, at 90s, when people didn't have a computer and they didn't even know what the internet was. And but anyway, I think that if students are really involved in what they are studying, so it's our mission to engage them and to give them just some tools just to work together. And I mean, it's always work. And at the beginning, I give them, for example, some homework, and that they can do it just by meeting each other in the same city, for example. If the course was for a company, just to take some hours out of work to make their homework together, or in just little groups of people. I don't know. I mean, I agree with Federico in what he say. Even if well, in one side is we find this difficulty because people just doesn't want to change from what they know.
Yeah, that's it. And you have to show them the rewards of doing that. Which kind of involves getting to their motivations and what cranks, as we say in English, what cranks their engine, or turns them on. You know, where that reward process comes from it's a hyper local thing, even like I'm doing with the concert series. You know,
I have been using some gamification for my courses, and it really works.
Verification?
Gamification, yes.
Gamification, okay.
Yes, yes. But just a little bit, not much. But I don't know. I'm very enthusiastic about what I'm doing, so I'm always researching.
And where is that documented somewhere? That gamification? I mean, I could try it.
Well, I have many blogs. I have a gamification e-learning. That's the Spanish, and I have another one that is Mootology.com. that's in English. I mean, I have different blogs that attach many different concepts or point of view of on education, on e-learning education.
Yeah, and Charlotte, gamification, the word, although it's appear to be so technical, but it's so fun. You know, have you tried video games?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm aware of the field and have through the
It
Peeragogy
gives
handbook.
it gives that psychological feeling for you. You know, once you achieve at a one level, that's you know, it
Yeah,
just
so I understand what you're saying. That is giving me some ideas.
So I was maybe debating Julia in the Google Plus, or hoping to debate her. Although I don't have a huge opinion myself about this. I was saying that I've seen some people who said, look, games are good, games are fun, you can learn a lot with games, but they were saying the gamification itself can have some downsides, and I could elaborate on that. The point is, as you guys were both saying, Dorothy and Charlotte, about the motivating other people. I think the thought is, and this is more of a question, because again, I don't have a strong opinion, but I can say what people I think are saying is like, you know, suppose you want to motivate people to do something that you want them to do something healthy, or do something that you like, or do something, say, that will make you personally lots of money, or maybe motivate them to pull themselves out of poverty, or whatever the issue is. The point is, when you're pushing your motivation on someone else, maybe by making it a game, or making it fun, or making it, I mean, my great grandfather was like the world's most famous missionary. So like being a missionary, he had all these great techniques to convert people to Christianity. The point is, like, is that really a good thing or not? I don't know. I mean, I personally wouldn't sign up for the being converted to Christianity thing, but in fact, like, both Bush, I think, and Obama, the people in their political campaigns were using my great grandfather's book, believe it or not, and using these techniques from missionary science to like think about how to convert people to their political points of view. Now, I don't know. I mean, who's better, Bush or Obama? I don't have maybe even that strong of opinion about that anymore. Although I did vote for Obama. But my point is, I don't know that the conversion factor or the gamification factor is in itself good. And I don't really have a strong opinion, but I'm trying to communicate that, like, some people are very skeptical of gamification. So,
well, I could see even in both of my projects, I could see, I mean, I don't know exactly what the mechanics would be, but I could see it, just using a little element to kind of grease the skids or get the juices flowing on participation.
Yes, that's the point. I mean, just use some mechanics, and just a little bit in order to engage student on learning.
Yeah, it's like when you're faced with when you're faced with a dish of food that you don't know if you like it or not, and then you take a little bite, and then you think, oh, I really like it. I think I'll eat it.
Yes, that's it. I mean, I don't believe that gamification is fantastic, and we have to gamificate whatever.
Gamify.
Gamify. Thank you. All our courses. Just use some mechanics, and just because every course on e-learning must be very flexible, and it can be changed if I see, for example, that something is not going in a good way, so I just change and say, okay, let's see it from this other point of view, and we are going again to do and to see this matter in this other way, and go back and use some tools from here to there until I find I can touch them. I mean, I can touch their brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get it.
And let them understand the concept. Yeah. Of what I'm saying, but and also my opinion is that the people we have to teach them how to have their own opinion, and
yeah.
on any matter, and because each one opinion. We can learn from each other and take the best of each one of our opinion. Sorry for the using too much this word, but that's this way. I don't know if I explain myself.
What is the? Could you give me a concrete example of a piece of gamification? I don't know what you call it. Just an actual exercise that you introduced that got results that you're describing.
Yes. For example, it's just I can use for a homework, for example. And I give because psychologically we have we can make difference between our student. There is, for example, the students that really wants to do the course, and they are the one that push the other people to go on working, and there are some other that you know that it will always go to complaining and trying to get everybody off of what they are doing or whatever, and there are other kind of people that just collaborate with and help their other student. So the first thing is just to find out with your student what kind of person they are, this psychologically point of view, you know, and then when you have defined this, you can to do some homework and try to engage the people that really doesn't want to do it in some way, but because the thing is that there are so many tools and so many mechanics and so many kind of different psychologies from people that I cannot give you now an example just right away.
Key overall is to know their skills and motivations and the way they learn or operate, and know, then from there comes the method that you might use, right?
Yes, it's all depend on what I want them to learn, and but always from studying what kind of people they are. If you see, for example, Andrei Marsevsky blog, you can find, for example, how he divides the person. I'll give you right now. I put you well. Okay. Well, I will send you. You can find it, or I can if you read my blog, I have defined some this kind of characters, and I also have an example to a game find how to game find a course, for example, for digital competences on that blog.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just go and try to find that. For example, this is my blog. Okay, and that's in Spanish. It is in Spanish, but I have a lot of articles in English.
Mm-hmm.
So almost all about the gamification articles are in English. Okay, so you can easily read it.
Yeah. Well, the people involved in the concert series, I actually know them pretty well. And I know the publishers fairly well, not as well, but that would be an additional layer of, getting to know them in a way that it doesn't take too much time, because they're all over New England, which is 6 states and is a vast area. But I kind of know the type of people they are, and if you can really say that, but
yeah, characters.
Again, yeah, really kind of quirky, individualist, all over the political spectrum. But the reason that they're doing things independently or publishing independently is because, they're impatient with the publishing world. They may have books that people aren't necessarily really wild about, or traditional publishers aren't wild about taking on, and some very interesting stuff comes out of that. And fortunately for self-publishing and independent publishing, is there, because otherwise this stuff wouldn't be widely available. And there's some really bad stuff too.
And Charlotte, I'm particularly interested to know, now that people are publishing themselves in blogs and then websites, so how does a publisher like you and other publishers, how does their business model work? So how do you all survive?
Okay. Well, there's a low percentage of profit, people who are actually making money on it for a living, being able to live on it. But well, the one way you can maximize your success is to set up a platform online as an author, establish yourself as an expert in a field, a niche that you're publishing about, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. There's that. A lot of authors don't get that. They just want to write. They don't want to do all that other stuff. And it takes a long time to build that up. But another way is to publish books in a series. So you're continually you establish an audience for your writing and viewpoints and stories, and then you keep putting out books. And I know that's how I like to read, is find an author that I like, and so. If people can generate a series, that's good. Publish a lot of books. You're getting, maybe on Kindle, you're getting nothing to $2.99, maybe up to $10 a book if you are lucky. But volume is really important if you're publishing that way. I was just reading a book about, or actually I was listening to a book. It's really interesting in pedagogy terms too. It's called Fiction Unboxed, and it's these guys who actually write fiction collaboratively, and one of them writes the basic framework, and the other one fleshes out the worlds and the characters, and then they kind of feed back and forth to refine the book. But they've done several that way, kind of everything from mostly fantasy, science fiction, steampunk type stuff. But what they did was they took they did a Kickstarter and financed a project where they wrote a book together in 30 days. And it's fascinating, just the process that they go through.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Federico, shall we discuss about the project that we were thinking to have a MOOC kind of a thing for pedagogy?
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, may I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I have been working in my MOOCtology blog on how to build a MOOC and trying to define what was the problem are and how can we work on a MOOC. I was thinking about MMOOCs, that it means a minimal, massive, open online course. I mean, it's going to be free, it's going to be open, but minimal. I mean, I was trying to, I want to do this this job with Federico, but last week I have my platform down, and also I was contacted from UNESCO recruiter at London to build to make the internet to build the e-learning system for Valencia University in English. It's a UNESCO project, and I don't know if I'm going to work with them or not, but I have been working on that too, so I didn't have too much time. I promise for the next Monday to have I mean a draft for this MOOC. And as I was talking to Dilruski, I did love the platform. How do you spell it? Dilruski? NovoX. Yes, I was studying it, and I mean, I think that we can make a great job with them, and to make a MOOC about peer-to-peer collaboration, and well, that's our project. I don't know if Federico has done something last week. Did you?
No, not really. I was just sending a message in answer to Ruski about some ideas, but I think that if it's possible to use NovoEd to develop a class, I think we could start and model it, and step by step we grow what the program, what the steps could be, what the contents, just to try as an experiment. So, but I think we should work in a concrete way, just to see what we have then in front of our eyes.
Yeah, for me, what I think is before we go or decide on a platform, we have to decide our instructional design. So what would be the structure of the course, and then we can evaluate the platform. I mean, platform should not be the priority for pedagogy because we always have the tools. It's just that we need some people to organize stuff.
Well, I that's why I have been. I mean, I have been putting my ideas about this book on my blog. Just trying to begin to think, and I really want to do this project. I mean, or my question or what I am proposing in a with you all. I mean, and with my English. Peeragogy. So I don't know. I mean, the only one person that that I was talking to and that was reading my ideas was Dilruski last week. But anyway, I will go on thinking and trying to find a way to make a great MOOC and to establish what we want and how we are going to do and what we want to teach. But
So
first,
can I make a quick procedural comment, which is that most of us are fairly lazy and we will forget to check it. So if you can meet us halfway and post links in Google Plus to anything that we should read, that just make a copy of your Mooktology posts or whatever and put them there. I think more people will see that, and then we can engage with that. And I think then you'll find more people reading your blog as well. I think it's totally appropriate for that.
I mean, don't hesitate to do it repeatedly, because maybe the fifth time it will come through to my brain. So
yeah.
Well, I share it with Peeragogy org.
Well, there's the Peeragogy. Sorry, what are you saying? No, I mean on the Google Plus.
Oh, on the Google Plus. Okay, but do we have a group in Google Plus?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just a second, I'll get you the link. We have about 900 people on there.
Yes, because I didn't know about that.
Well, I saw you were posting there, but maybe it was just a comment. So yeah, maybe you didn't notice that it was the special.
I'll put the link up.
Oh,
they tend to blur the boundaries these days of everything. So.
I mean, maybe there's a better way to communicate, but this seems to be the greatest common denominator.
Yeah, and then my other comment was to Dilrukshi's idea about doing some design before we just go off and build a demo. We could do our traditional thing and just create a new Google Doc. I think maybe we had one going already that Federico and Fabrizio were working on. So that would be something else we could share in the Google Plus if there is such a doc, or if not, then just make one. So
well, I made one. I posted the link, but I didn't know. It's just a suggestion if Federico wants collaboration on getting this seed idea going.
Yeah. So I think that we're definitely gonna need to push around back and forth, and I think a Google Doc would be a really good format for that, and then at the end we have a nice document, and I don't think it'll take forever. I think it's okay to also try different platforms at the same time, but I think the document would be helpful as a kind of route, so that if we try one platform and then we maybe decide, okay, we don't like it, or we want to document what we like or don't like about it, then we can write that down, and we'll say we tried these 3 platforms.
Yeah, here's the community, Julia.
Yes, I already get it.
Yeah, okay.
I opened
and there
it.
you are.
Yes, and the comment that I want to make is when we decide on a platform, we make constraints with the platform features, whereas Peeragogy, for example, if peers need to be shared, collaborate, whatever, they have to initiate any tools they want, right? I mean, if, for example, you use Coursera, the Coursera has only limited features to collaborate. That will limit our the main message from the pedagogy should be learning by peers, right?
You've got it completely. I would say we would all completely agree with you. So yes, that is totally true.
And then once in a while, if it drives someone nuts that there's so many things going on, we kind of create a consolidation document with a bunch of links, and I think Charlie's done that, and I've done that. I've got a Google Drive with a whole bunch of Peeragogy handbook documents, and
and itself generate the knowledge as well. You are not well structured, and then you are tend to find it the people who are really enthusiastic and the people who really are interested to learn will create knowledge, right?
Yes, that's right.
Totally.
Yeah,
So I think
and I
that's
think
right. So yeah, it's
our
not just exploding off into new spaces, but also synthesizing and combining and finding the best and the worst and putting it together. I think there's both aspects. Totally.
Yeah, and these sessions are so great because we have gotten to know each other really well, even though many of us have not known each other or seen each other in person. You know, it's just like whether or not we have an agenda in any given week isn't as important as that we continue to kind of knock up against each other and get ideas going and fleshed out. So.
Yeah.
Um,
And I would like to talk to Dorothea, and she said something about collaboration in the business corporate world. Is it?
I
Dorothea, are you available?
microphone is muted.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here she is.
Yeah, I think it was Lisa who was talking about collaboration in business world.
oh.
I think that's true. Although the overlap maybe of what you guys were both talking about was a bit related because like Lisa was talking about a more authentic kind of strategy for managing rather than just bossing people around, and you were saying, you know, that's relevant not just in business, for example, but it's also relevant in personal life. So I think there is some overlap, which is probably why Dorokshi was thinking about that.
Yeah. So I mean, in this community, we should get everybody's ideas. So, what we have now is to have a MOOC course to teach about,
Yes.
or just to give the idea of the peeragogy. So some people have psychological, psychological way of thinking, and then myself has e-learning, instructional designs. How are we going to give the knowledge transformation, whatever? So each and everybody has some background. So once we structure something, then they can see the document or whatever the structure in their perspective and comment, and then we can go on adding and see a prototype. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And
That sounds really good. And I would also say, of course, that we should also ask ourselves. I mean, we're the as it's been for several years, we're the main people testing it and trying it, and we're wondering, how is it really useful for me? So I liked Julia's idea about homework. I think that the homework we should think about maybe this week is to sort of say, okay, if this class was just for me, forget about building it for other people, unless I'm doing it because that's the only way I can learn. Think about how do you need to learn it, and what do you need to do to learn it for you. And of course, you could teach other people, but the hypothesis, I guess, is that if you learn a certain way, then there's going to be a bunch of other people out there in the world who learn the same way as you do. And so, actually thinking about how you would want to have it be for you is useful for all those other people who think about it the same way as you do. Maybe less useful for other people who think about it a different way. But since there's a lot of us, we can try all these different approaches.
The one thing I was going to point out is, can everyone see the screenshot?
Yes.
These are I was going to reorganize the sections of the Peeragogy in Action, the community. So, I mean, if there's, I can do some of that. I probably could use some help, or someone to think of things that I don't think of. In ways.
People were Amanda was asking, where's the dashboard? So this could be our dashboard right there. So I guess we could just approach the categories like that. Like what are the things that people really need to know in order to get involved? And the reasons why all those things we have there right now are not the right things. That would be a really interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, collaboration. It's all collaboration.
Right. And how to participate is probably.
Oh yes.
and it's all research and it's all technology.
Yeah. So
But,
I think maybe like I would vote for something like top 5. Like let's not make a top 5 category, but like let's think about like what are our top 5. Well, now what happens if you delete something? If you were to delete, for example, the video team, I don't suppose we lose all of the.
that's one reason that kept me from experimenting on
Okay,
it too
well,
much.
delete
But,
something that we don't care about, and then we'll see what happens.
okay.
Like Socrates Cafe, for
Well,
example.
there's some pretty good stuff in there.
Okay, but yeah, it's just
No,
for
I'm
fun.
kidding.
Fun.
There's some serendipity.
It's great. Yeah, so delete that, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, edit community. And so we'll see if that's still there.
Yeah. Oh, it removes all the posts and can't be undone. So the answer is, if we were to do that, we would get rid of all of it. That's
okay,
horrible.
and there are ways to move posts as well. I don't know if it's it might be pretty labor intensive.
Wow.
But let's see.
Delete our posts.
We don't want to do that. I thought there was a way to move posts before. Oh. This is why I didn't do it before.
Oh, I'm not laughing about you, Charlotte. It's just sometimes happened to me too.
Yeah. Listen, we should probably wrap up, but homework. Frederico's been loudly chatting about getting people to participate in designing the class, peer-to-peer class. Go ahead.
Starting really a primer so that we can then discuss something concrete and change, criticize, appreciate, and go on and move on. I think it's the best way with digital tools is just to do it, and then you can change, save it, and modify.
Sure. Yeah. So I think we should definitely give that a try. There's other things I want to say, but I'm so fried from working on these papers that I can't remember what they were. I had all these like amazing insights as to what the true essence of peeragogy was this week, and now I've forgotten because I think it happened when I was.
My suggestion would be to kind of put things in the discussion section, or introduce, or I don't know, questions. Introduce yourself.
Let's see if we can't figure out how to reorganize this somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm onto it a little. I think in another section.
Like I said, I'm going to take some time this week to look at this.
Yeah, and Joe, we should get you, doing the peeragogy.org, kind of transferring some of that knowledge and disseminating it.
Yeah, so I think maybe we need a new way of doing things, though, that like no matter, maybe to get around the bottleneck stuff, we should like always do kind of like peer programming, sort of like, if someone's working on something like the book or the website, find someone else and recruit them to like just follow along and learn it, so that we don't have the same bottleneck problems as we used to have. We
can just rename categories, but that doesn't help moving.
Can we rename them and like hide them or something, so that like we rename them?
I don't know.
Annex.
It's hard without. I'm going to find out how to do it.
Okay. Yeah, we might need a Google Plus mechanic to come help us.
I did rename questions to discussion, so maybe that's easier to just put. If you're doing something, kind of let people know there, and with the links and the discussion section.
So I know, speaking of the book, I know, Dorothea, you were telling me that you know some LaTeX, so maybe we could meet up on the book sometime this week if you have time.
Can you include me so I can learn it?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. If it's a good time for you. I don't know. Maybe both of you sometime.
I'm flexible.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm pretty much crashing out. So.
Okay. Well,
Good.
thanks for joining us. I'm just really psyched to see all these people from different places.
Yeah,
And
I know. It was like great last week, and we're doing it again this week. It's
I
amazing.
know. And we had Christine, you know, and Federico.
Yeah.
Do you
Yes.
want to set up just whatever format you like to work on, and we can help feed in some ideas and what
Yeah.
you were talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
somehow I think what is nice with pedagogy is that we too must take the course in the way that we are all on the side of being participants and sharing things, and then let's see what it comes from sharing, from discussing. I think this is the first step, and I would work from concrete now with Julia. We are she would welcome this first draft of a class on her platform. Is a Moodle, and there we can enter and then see what it looks like, and then we can suggest, discuss, and model it so that it represents the will of and inspiration from everybody as much as possible. And then we can also have a clear example, and we could taste it. I would like to test it as a student, just to see if it works and how much I can, in a peer-to-peer way, learn from the other. Because now the whole world is talking about peer-to-peer, but I think the challenge is to how to
do it.
Just do it.
To do it, the learning, to work on the learning side. This also, I think Michelle Bowens, who is from the Peer-to-Peer Foundation, would be very pleased to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like, I have these real world problems, organizations that I deal with, and I would really love to. I know there's some, maybe not the magic bullet, but there's some keys, and I think we, you know, to help turn the corner on them. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I like I just like the, you know, asking questions. I think that's great. I thought it was good how you're asking Julia some questions, and not too bad Dorothy's left. I would have asked her. She was asking some good questions, and
we even have some people from Iran, I guess, watching today.
cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we can write the next sequel to reading, what's that book called? Reading Lolita in Tehran. We can call it Writing Peeragogy. And yep. So okay, well, probably should stop the broadcast before I start babbling.
Oh yeah, sorry.